welcoming Americo Gordy Garcia to the cage.
America Gordy Garcia, speaking of people whose record does not reflect the caliber of which they fight, he's 4-4, but every one of these fights are high level fights.
Yeah, we can get more into it in a minute, but yeah, Gordy is basically, a lot of his losses came early on in his career, and I believe it was his first loss, maybe the second one. The guy's like on his third UFC win right now. That was his like first amateur opponent, we'll say. And no, that was the second one. The first one, the guy actually never fought again, but the guy was also extremely talented, like touted as like the prodigy kind of thing. Gordy is incredibly talented, especially compared to his record. From my understanding, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. His opponent, brown belt. Not that belts necessarily, mean anything or whatever, but both these guys will say are very high level on the ground.
Absolutely. I'd say it's kind of thought that Garcia is maybe the slightly cleaner striker due to the number of KOs that he has, right?
Yeah, he's definitely just more fundamental in general. You'll see Jarrett Griffin, if we see the Jarrett Griffin I expect to see, very unorthodox and kind of just uses some crazy stand-up to set up takedowns. Got to get his opponent flinched up and then use that to set up takedowns.
Ladies and gentlemen, Monroe, Louisiana, welcome to the arena, Jarrett Griffin.
Now, Jarrett Griffin, this is a 125-pound fight. Jarrett Griffin has fought before at a much higher weight class, correct?
Yeah, his first fight was at 155, so a much larger opponent than he mostly fought at 135. This is his first fight at 125. Unfortunately, he did miss weight, and especially with this being a 125 title fight, you got to make the 125 on the dot. He came in 6 pounds over, which is quite a heavy miss. I mean, so Jarrett is not going to be eligible to win the 125 title because he didn't make 125 pounds. So only Gordy will be eligible to win the belt.
Absolutely. But we'll see how that weight class transfer translates to cardio, translates to maybe being the bigger fighter. Both of these men fighting at these smaller weights, maybe a little shorter, but usually higher volume. We'll see how that translates as he once fought at a heavier weight class.
Yeah, I do wonder what is the cause of the miss, especially a miss by, almost 6 pounds. Especially, at this light weight class, that's a large percentage of your body weight even, compared to, let's say you're like a 180, 185 middleweight and you miss by 6 pounds. It's still a lot, but it's a smaller percentage in proportion to your body weight. Yeah, you're looking at over 4% of your body weight that you miss the weight class by.
Absolutely.
But Jarrett Griffin, with that being said, is a returning DFC veteran. He's won fights here for us before, showed great skills and techniques. He's very dynamic. You'll see a lot. If it's the same Jarrett Griffin I remember, you're going to see a lot of, dynamic striking. Southpaw, so as we mentioned before, it's kind of southpaw versus orthodox. Sets up that single leg. He loves, that's kind of his main shot, is kind of,
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, championship title time in the amateur division, 125-pound strap on the line. Our next bout is for the amateur title, scheduled for three-minute rounds. Here we go, introducing first in the blue corner, in tonight's matchup with 4 victories and 8 amateur bouts with 2 wins by technical knockout. Standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing 124.5 pounds. Coming to you from San Antonio by way of Laredo, Texas, representing Unity Training Center. Give it up for Americo Gordy Garcia. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, introducing in the red corner, in tonight's matchup with 3 victories and 4 amateur bouts, standing 5 feet 5 inches tall. He weighs 130 pounds, coming to you from Coleman, Alabama, in Triad Martial Arts Academy. Give it up for Jarrett Griffin. Third man in charge of the action, Mr. Basil Majou. Monroe, Louisiana, let's get it on.
And just to circle back to exactly what you were saying, one of the strong points with Griffin is he actually uses the punches to set up the takedowns, which is something that we've talked about earlier tonight.
Yeah, it's an incredibly important thing to do, especially as you get up in the higher levels, people that are ready for it. As he lands a big left hand, actually
his
very
opponent
surprised by that.
Right back up.
Yes, it's not that Jarrett Griffin has bad striking. I don't want to say anything like that, but it's more unorthodox. You even see him coming at a little bit of some crazy angles right now. This, I would say, is even less than I normally see from him. You normally see him go and kind of crazy and wild, diving, ducking. You see the hands kind of dropping. This is a little more what I'm used to.
Absolutely, a little more wild style of a fighter. Keeps his opponent a little bit off balance.
Kind of Superman punch into single leg kind of guy. Reminds me of Raul Rosas.
Now that was more of a trip than it was a knockdown.
Yeah, good wrestle up attempt from Gordy here. Still on it. Jared Griffin doing a good job keeping the hips in, landing some strikes, putting that weight on him.
Putting the weight on him, not really letting him stand back up, and is landing some punches to the top of the head.
Yeah. Yeah, Gordy doing a good job getting back to the feet.
Gordy did a great job there, going ahead and finishing the wrestling up back to the double unders.
Yeah,
now he's the one pressing against the cage.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably the more stronger, more physically fit fighter. So, you know, once he gets in this body lock, probably going to be kind of hard to deal with.
Has the body lock, had the leg, but switches now to the other side. Attempted a kind of a hip switch takedown.
Yeah,
now pulling out the leg there.
Nice and low on the hips. You can kind of see that that body lock takedown coming with how low he was on the hips. You know,
now in top side control, his opponent looks to be doing nothing more than maybe interested in getting back up to standing, especially if he's hooking through there.
Yeah, I mean, you could try to like push it through for like a Kimura attempt or something. Looks like he's trying to maybe get back to the guard from here, actually.
Yeah.
But unorthodox.
The Kimura is kind of difficult from bottom position. You know, if you're going to go for any of them, it'd be the Americana, but even then, the MMA gloves make the Americana from bottom side control very difficult.
Yeah, I would say neither one of them are like necessarily like a preferred technique, but you know, sometimes people kind of come up with some crafty solutions to these difficult problems.
Absolutely, especially when you start talking about high-level colored belts like this. Just like that right there, using the switch over. But great timing.
Caught in an arm triangle from the guard, though. You don't see this like finish from there, but he used it to take the back. Jared Griffin doing a good job, you know, kind of controlling that arm, trying to escape from here.
Go to the opposite side, trying to swim back over to the guard, but his opponent making it a back take instead.
Yeah, Gordy's not having it. Looking at under the chin here, this could be it.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, he has a tight squeeze. Is definitely feeling it as Jared Griffin.
A little on the side, though.
Yeah, he does lose it, but that was extremely close to being it. And he's not done yet. He's still staying on the back. He's not trying to give this up. You get a position like this, these high-level guys, you know, you're going to do everything you can to keep it and attack from it.
Absolutely, and in the last few seconds of the round, great action here. And at the end of that round, Gordy there on the dominant position.
Yeah, good back and forth first round there. You know, Jared Griffin taking the advantage from the start, but then Gordy Garcia, you know, really taking over towards the back half of that. You know, once he got that wrestle up, got that body lock takedown, got on top, he was able to pretty much, you know, finish that round in a pretty dominant fashion. But, you know, it was all Jared Griffin before that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely showing that takedown, too, with the body lock. Pretty high level, even though it was, you know, like you said, you could see it coming, but the ability to go one side, then switch to the other, once again, the commitment to the takedown.
Yeah, and the reason I say you could see it coming is because he was so deep on it. Like, he was already there, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, he didn't have to rush it. He had it when he wanted it.
Great setups. Again, I'll say it one more time. A great takedown artist never stops taking down. Here we go into the second round. Now, if you are Jared Griffin, is there any changes you make?
I mean, he started off well, just you know, off that wrestle up from Gordy Garcia. You know, he kind of got reversed there. So
Gordy kind of catches him coming in.
Yeah, I mean,
Gordy seeming to be the very patient fighter, trying to catch a counter shot off of his wild man opponent, shall we say.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out. You know, this could really determine who wins the round, who wins the fight. You kind of just even this halfway neutral position that we're in. Even though Jared Griffin hasn't pressed against the cage, you see Gordy has
instantly switching through, going very low.
And immediately dives down on the legs. This should be a takedown for him here. It's not guaranteed at this point.
Well, he's watching the guillotine. Yep.
Yeah, he's nice and low on the legs, but he has to be careful with his neck at this point. Jared Griffin has a nasty guillotine, wins by guillotine. If Gordy does take him down, he kind of needs to bias to his right side a bit, and even taking down slow is a pretty smart strategy here, so we can't just kind of cinch that in deep as you take him down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you see Gordy, like I was saying, kind of biasing to the right, and that way Jared Griffin can't go to his right and pull the head down and get the guillotine.
Now, if you're Jared Griffin, essentially what you want to do is hook through on the other side, basically get what they call a switch, but then go ahead and stand up, especially when you're already sitting down in these positions. You don't have a lot of power except for to stand up.
Yeah.
And now he's leaning back instead.
Yeah, especially, like exactly what you just said. The fact that he leaned back right there, that was him accepting this position. It's a tough position to be in where Gordy's like down on his legs. He's hard to move, kind of like we talked about earlier. But going to your back like that is only going to put you in more trouble. You know, building that base, getting height, getting taller than your opponent, getting up is your best option at that point.
Again, Garrett seems to be interested in using that overhook from the bottom position.
Yeah, very unorthodox. I'm not going to say it's wrong, just a bit different than what I'm used to seeing.
Well, and it may be the truth for his opponent too. It may be one of those things of throwing it at your opponent to see how they react.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes there's people that do things that I'm like, what is it? But then, you know, somebody does it to you, and if you're not used to that kind of reaction, you don't know, you're not used to dealing with it. So.
And again, going deep to his side in the bottom guard, you know, even with his back to the cage, trying to create kind of a slow pendulum sweep there. Yeah. And it almost worked, but Gordy gets the hip switch and comes back on top.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to find much success with slow techniques like that from the bottom against Gordy Garcia. He's too wary and ready for that. I think he needs to be the more dynamic, quick, explosive Jarrett Griffin that we're used to seeing as he is looking for an armbar.
Now the leg technically on the wrong side. Now it's on the right side. But I will say Gordy right now is slow. Yep, there it pops out.
It looked like he was kind of almost chilling there because he knew he could get his elbow out. He's just kind of smashing down. He knows what to do here. No, not foreign spots him at all. Kind of a slow round, but
interesting. Well, speaking of orthodox, that was an actual interesting way to get that reversal right there, coming out of the half guard, letting it go at the correct time. So both of these gentlemen showing some pretty high-level grappling so far tonight.
Yeah, that I will say Gordy definitely will say made better adjustments between the rounds, got ahead that round, however you want to put it. First round incredibly close, back and forth. 1 and 2 we'll say, whereas that round was pretty much all Gordy besides the very last second where he got, you know, kind of reversed where it didn't even matter because there was a second left in the round. You know, if you're Jarrett Griffin, you can't be on your back for 2 minutes, 59 seconds again. Or a little less than that, but essentially.
Yeah, it just will not win you the judge's favor.
Yeah, and if you do get there, I think it was like a quick intermission, but I bet they felt it like it was quick too. It always feels quick when you're the one fighting.
Absolutely. Now for the third and final round. See what adjustments are made. If you're Gordy, you probably have won both of the rounds by slight edging, just by being the gentleman on top. Now, is there any adjustments you make, though, if you are Mr. Gordy?
I mean, he seems to be doing everything he wants to at the moment, getting the takedown just like before, putting his opponent on his back. And again, Griffin seems to be kind of willing to settle on his back here, not wrestling up.
Yeah, again, right here, normally you would try to get both legs straight and go ahead and stand up. Yeah. He seems to sort of be attempting it here. There we go. But again, I'll give it to Gordy's head position, instantly getting the dominant head position.
Incredibly good, keeping the height above his opponent, not letting him climb up right there. And,
absolutely.
I think we saw also, you know, as Jarrett did try to post that hand and build a base there, Gordy pulls that out in that kind of Dagestani handcuff position, breaks him down into that dominant spot again.
That's right. We can thank the Dagestanis, Khabib, and all of them for showing how to use the wall in the cage in those positions.
Yeah, you see.
Is this a buggy choke attempt?
Oh, no, it's more, he's in the full guard. It's almost like an arm triangle from the top, which is also unorthodox, but not unheard of. Sometimes you can kind of dive down deep on that guy and get the arm triangle from inside their guard. Looking for the arm bar, but the
Jarrett continuously trying to do a decent job of attempting things, but I will give it to his opponent being very well read in on all of it and has now gotten basically to a top north-south position.
Yeah, it feels
top side control.
It feels a little too slow from Jarrett Griffin, which, I mean, he's in a tough spot. He's doing what he can, but it feels a little too slow from him on the bottom, especially someone as wary and ready as Gordy is. You know, he feels everything that's coming.
And is now on the mount.
Yeah, way before it's there, and he's kind of having his way at this point. Progressing position, landing some strikes.
And is he getting into the back again?
Yeah, Jarrett Griffin's going to give the back up, which isn't necessarily terrible because you can kind of turtle and build a base, but he's flattened out. This is a bad spot at this point. It's not going to be too long.
And, yeah, I was going to say,
yeah.
and Mr. Majoub swims in. Bam Bam calling it in round 3.
Yeah, that's
no longer intelligently defending. The hands weren't doing anything active in that scenario.
Yeah. Great finish from Gordy Garcia, winning the 125 belt here at DFC. Not getting too much love from the triad heavy crowd is Mr. Gordy.
Absolutely not, but I will say this does showcase what I was speaking about. This is a very talented fighter, moving on to 5 and 4, showing a lot of skill, a lot of showcasings.
Yeah, Jared Griffin, make no mistake, he's no slouch on the ground, but Gordy, you know.
Monroe, Louisiana, at the 2-minute-17-second mark of round number 3, referee Basil Majoub stops in and stops this bout due to strikes with our winner by TKO, the blue corner, and new 125-pound champion, Americo Gordy Garcia.
Here comes the DFC belt at 125 for Gordy. That's a keeper.
Yeah, congratulations, Gordy. The
amateur flyweight champion.
Yeah, inaugural.
Americo, we get it done, baby. 217, round number 3. Now go ahead, get your picture made, baby.
There we go, multiple pictures taken. Bask in it, good sir.
Americo, baby, we get it done. 217 in round 3. How do we feel, champ?
I feel okay, man. That performance was ugly. I made a lot of mistakes, and I just need to fix them, and I'm so disappointed in the way I did that. I resorted to what I was good at, and I'm supposed to grow as a fighter, so I'm really sad that I didn't do what my coach told me.
Well, you didn't do what your coach told you, but you still got the job done. You're the champ, baby. What do we do from here? Where do we go next?
Well, I love Louisiana, man. You guys were awesome this whole 3 days. I love you guys, and I'll probably be back to defend the title more than likely, man. I'm exhausted. But hey, if anyone knows any places to eat in Monroe, please tell me. I'm super hungry.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your new 125-pound champion, Americo Gordy Garcia.
Mr. Gordy there, a little upset that he didn't make more adjustments, but I have to say the game plan work that he went with